Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new Paint and Talk, and this time I want to talk about a topic more or less started by Eric Beer, that is about using armies, or using the same army on different game systems. And yeah, I think it's great, and I did that while doing that with my demons, for example. So if we go, and here I will share mainly my experience on Games Workshop games, okay, where because it's where I have more of my experience collecting armies and how you can make them viable for different systems. Always, I would say in that case, to be able to use the same army in Age of Sigmar and 40k, and then 40k and 30k. So the first thing is, if you have this idea in mind, there is well, in the case of Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k, there is only one army that can be used in both games. Is the demons. So I think a good way to start that collecting demons is you start collecting demons that you can use in both games, and they can be as well good in both games. For example, Demon Princess, they can work quite well in both. The Filer, not the Filer, forgot now the name. The Soulgrinder. The Soulgrinder is also a good miniature to be used, and all the troops can be used in both games. So you can start creating your core based on demons and use the same core in both games. And then once you have a good collection of demons, then you can start specializing a little bit your army. So for example, if you like more 40k, you start adding some Chaos Space Marines. And if you like a little bit more Age of Sigmar, you start adding some Chaos Warriors or other Chaos troops. So I will say collecting demons has the big advantage that you can play both game systems and you can enjoy almost double the army. The only thing that I recommend if you do that is just look a little bit on how you do the bases. But I would say it's the only limitation. You can use really the same miniature if you have a very neutral base. You can use the same miniature in both games. In fantasy, I would say in Age of Sigmar, now that they use Rome bases, and in 40k. In the past was a little bit more tricky because fantasy was demanding to use square bases, while 40k is basic, is using Rome bases. You were able, you can. There were some people just doing some tricks, doing magnetized trays, where you put the Rome bases as making ranks. So there were also, even before, there were ways to go around that. But today I will say it's pretty easy. When Age of Sigmar was launched, I already had an army because I had my demons, and the demons were able to be used as they are in 40k in Age of Sigmar. Of course, my army was not fully prepared for that, and I have some Space Marine helmets on my bases, but anyway, I think nobody will complain if I use the demons on Age of Sigmar. The only thing is that sometimes can be a little bit limiting. Maybe sometimes they are not the best troops to use. And the other thing that you can face is that the unit that is very strong in 40k maybe is not that strong in Age of Sigmar, because there are different rule sets, and not always, if you are very competitive, the optimal units for 40k will be the optimal units for Age of Sigmar. But I will say, as a good starting point, doing demons can be good. Then in the case that Eric Beer was talking that he wants to collect Slaanesh, he's starting to collect Emperor's Children and some Slaanesh demons. I will say that go ahead and prepare your army to be able to play in both games. I think it's the best way to go, and I think it's fully compatible. Just use some neutral bases and you will be able to use your demons in both games. The other point is to use also the same miniatures from 30k, to use the same Space Marines in 30k and in 40k. Here you need to plan a little bit more careful how you want to organize, because there are some weapons and some units that does not exist in both games. As I will say that it's easier if you start with a loyal legion, because you will not have these weird mutations in 40k that are used in 40k. You will have more basic marines. So for example, if I use, I'm collecting ultramarines, it's very easy to do this. No, you can make your, if you just do the right choice on the weapons and you don't start choosing some of these super special weapons that we can see in 30k, you can really collect an army. You can look around how you organize, but I will say it's completely feasible to have the same army and play both systems. And as I say, the same with the demons. Once you start having some mass, you can start adding some units to specialize the army in each system. For example, you can take, if you play 30k, to specialize in 30k, you can start adding just a couple of vehicles and it will look more specialized in 30k. So, or you can add just the Primarch and then will look. So, or some of the HQs, some of the different HQs. But I will say it's not, you just start with a big core, and then you can, with a couple of units, you can specialize your army in one era or in one game or in another game. I will say loyal marines that did not change the armor color, it's easier. Ultramarines is again the example. Emperor's Fist is another example. But then there are other armies that can be more challenging. For example, if you go for Dark Angels, they change the color of the armor, so the 30k and the 40k, they have a different look. You always can invent your fluff, representing that is a successor chapter that decide not to change the color, because indeed there are a lot of successor chapters now in 40k. You always can go in that direction, so you can always invent your fluff and the justification of the different color scheme. But of course the color schemes in 30k were quite limited, because the legions were the legions that they were existing, and they were not hundreds of successor chapters like in the case of 40k. So I would say with good planification, it should be quite easy to make an army that can work in 30k and 40k. Just do the right choice on the legion, try to choose a legion that is not changing armor, the color of the armor. You can make 30k after falling. I don't know exactly how this is working, but of course some of these chapters start changing the armor, some mutating just after they start falling into the chaos. In the case of the Emperor Children, I think it's viable. I don't have much experience how many sonic weapons they had. I know that they have the Cacophony, and they launched they had some also sonic weapons. Not sure if are the same sonic weapons or they were different. But I guess with some conversions at the end, all these sonic weapons. This was the origin of the Noise Marines, was the Cacophony of the Emperor Children. So you can always start from there. I think if you start Emperor Children and you do a color that is quite neutral, you will be able to adapt it. Okay, I will say with the Emperor Children can be a little bit more tricky with the Legions, the Chaos Legions or the Traitor Legions can be a little bit more difficult to do this 30k 40k conversion, I will say. But I think with some planification this is feasible. But for sure, if you like demons, Edic Beer, I think really take the advantage and use the demons in both systems. Very easily you will have an army that can work in Age of Sigmar and in 40k. You can start small in Age of Sigmar just with demons, and if you like the Age of Sigmar system, you can add some additional Chaos troops, more specialized for Age of Sigmar, or you can add just a little bit more demons and make the force a little bit stronger. So that's all what I wanted to talk, and here we have a mod. So this is all what I want to share. So yeah, it's feasible to make and the same army to make it work on different systems. I'm also thinking what to do with my armies that are in square bases. I don't want to rebase them, so should I start playing 9th Age? Just think that I've been thinking recently quite a lot. So, but this will be maybe another topic for another video. That's all what I want to share here. I hope this have answered, this give you some ideas. And Nick, I hope this is helping you. And please leave in the comments below if you want to know more details or you need some more help there. That's all for now. As usual, I hope you find this video useful. Thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye.